My friend Adora and I are doing a collaboration video on taking our trash and turning it into treasure. And people were asking, what else can you do with cans? It's like, oh my gosh, I have no idea. Messing around with a can one day and I squished it a little to see, how bendy it was, and it kind of naturally formed this water spout. And it hit me. I can make a watering can out of this huge Denny Moore beef stew can. Let me show you how I did it. So first we're going to shape the can. We don't want to shape it after we paint it or anything because we might crack the paint or something. And what I'm basically doing is pinching, squishing until I get the shape that I want. No special tools. I'm just using my hands. I had my son 3D print some handles for me. I think if you find a handle that you can screw from the outside versus the inside of the can, that might be better. You want to pre-drill your holes and everything. Make sure you go watch Adora's video too. Here's a link for you. I am adhering something to give the can texture here. Can you guess what it is? It's a used bounce dryer sheet. This is a trash to treasure video. This dryer sheet gave it a really cool texture. It distracts from the ripples of the can. So you'll still be able to see the ripples, but then you'll see this like fabric-y burlap kind of texture after I paint it. I'm just using Mod Podge to adhere it to it, and it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. I gotta tell you, like napkins and paper towels are easier to decoupage than a bounce dryer sheet. But it smelled pretty good while I was doing it. It smelled like fresh laundry. And I used one whole sheet on the... You can still kind of see the seam at the end of the project, but I disguised it with what I had left over. Ripped the pieces apart and put it on the seam, to disguise it. So once this is done, you just want to let it dry. I usually do this in the evening, so I go to bed and it has to sit and dry on its own. That way I'm not touching it, not fiddling with it or anything like that. And the little green one here is the one that I did. That was my prototype. It was just a regular size can, that pork and bean can at the beginning. And I like this label mold from Iron Orchid Designs. And I dusted it with cornstarch. And then I have my Das air dry clay. It's a nice squishy clay, especially when it's brand new. It's economical too. I'll put all the links to my supplies in the description so you can go grab some if you need it. So you put the clay in the mold and you mush it down and you make the back as smooth as you can get it, basically. And then you flip the mold over and peel it back and allow the clay to fall out. It makes it a little bit easier to get it out without mangling it. I got these letters for clay. It comes with a little handy dandy thing that you put them in so it puts it on nice and straight. And you'll want to adhere your paper clay applique to your piece with some really good thick sticky glue. And Type Bond Quick and Thick is the glue that we use the most on every project. Now leave your piece to set overnight. I do this before I go to bed, so it's easy for me to leave it alone. If I was to paint it while the clay was wet, I could distort the image. We're going to paint today with Cottage Color Honey. Cottage Color is a one-step paint from DIY Paints. This paint is a game changer if you're wanting to flip your thrift store finds faster. A clear coat is not required, a wax is not required. It comes out with this awesome satin finish. Took a little break Drove out a couple hours to an antique mall. We were going to go to a flea market, but on a Sunday, apparently, they all packed up Saturday night, so nobody was left Sunday morning. So our loss, but we went to this cool antique mall. After the honey is completely dry, I come back in with a little bit of white from DIY paints, and I just kind of give it a nice little dry brushing. And now I'm going to take Dark and Decrepit by DIY Paint, and I'm going to smear it all over the piece, and I'm going to wipe it back off. Now the Dark and Decrepit is an antiquing glaze. It does not need a top coat neither, but you are more than welcome to put a top coat on it. It will stick in the grooves and crevices and all the little tiny little nooks and crannies, and it'll give you a nice weathered, worn, even rusty kind of look, and we're going for the rusty look here. We're going to add one more element of color and texture with some cinnamon. So we're going to take our Mod Podge. That's our glue for our cinnamon. That's what's going to make the cinnamon stick. And we're going to put it in just some spots. We don't want it everywhere. We just want it here and there. We want it to look like a rusty watering can. So we're going to try to reproduce rust. And the cinnamon smells good, so there's all kinds of things out on the market to create a rust look. You can even just use paint. Summer Crush by DIY is a great color to use that looks like rust. I didn't have any. I had cinnamon in the cabinet. It's economical, and almost everybody has it in their cabinet. So let me know in the comments if you're going to give cinnamon a try for a rust look. And let me know what you think about mine. How do you think these guys turned out? You know, when I said watering can, I forgot to mention these are for decor use only. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you later.